Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sarah Fraser Show. You guys know I'm SF. Mondays, I give you a bonus episode where we review and discuss the latest episode of Sister Wives. Sister Wives, season 18, episode 13, the elephant in the room last night. Some big moments, including for the very first time this season, we see Christine, Janelle, Robin, the code dog, all on a Zoom together for Tony and Mykelti's reveal of the gender of their twins, which of course we know are boys. They were born a year ago, so they're already a year old. We are so behind on this darn show. But anyhow, and that scene, there were some major scenes last night. Of course, that one with the gender reveal was huge. And then we kind of get the middle of the show where we have Christine meeting with her kids. Tony basically outs her on camera and says, "Are you dating?" Wants to know if she's hooking up with people. And then finally, the big scene is Janelle and Christine going to ride dirt bikes, which I certainly hope Christine or Janelle on that damn dirt bike is driving off into the sunset is a meme for the rest of 2023. But of course, we really realize we get to the bottom of why Janelle is hanging on and not fully leaving Cody for two reasons. One, she's very religious. She's waiting for a sign from God. And two, financially, she's screwed, unlike the other women. So we'll get into all those scenes. And of course, the thing that people are majorly talking about is the teaser of first episode 14, which is where our girl Robin is basically like, I had this dream that we were all going to be on a porch together, living the sister wives' lives. I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives. And we see that Mary is officially going to leave him. So people are very excited for that scene because that line has already been going viral. But let's go back for a minute, shall we? Let's talk about the opening scene where the Zoom call was a moment where a lot of them had not been on camera with each other in months, years. And at first, I thought Cody was going to be very disconnected. He looked like he was looking at his phone. He looked like he was distracted. And then they have him looking engaged. He's making like finger puppet motions or whatever. And he and Robin seem like they are genuinely engaged. Now, of course, we do the cutaway to the confessional of Cody saying, yeah, I could be fine with all my kids, but you are not going to separate Robin and me. And he puts his hands in the form of prayer hands and he goes, we're like this. And if my kids aren't like this with Robin and me, then I can't be, they're not going to be a part of my life. But, of course, he makes a big deal about, and it is true, Robin and Cody are very close with Mykelti and Tony. Now, I'm sure that there is a part of Rob Dog and the Codemeister that are loving this season because the heat, the more we get into this season, is coming off them and is focused on Mykelti and Tony. People online find, well, they've always labeled Tony as creepy, but they find Tony to be, he doesn't get along with Christine. And a lot of people, including myself, I'm throwing this theory out there. It almost, to me, do we feel like there's part of Tony that kind of sets Christine up a little bit? Or do we feel like Tony, thank God for Tony, because he actually asks the questions that we all want to know? And I'm referring to that second major scene when they're all having dinner and hanging out. And Tony wants to know if Christine is dating, what her online profile is like. She's got to get back out there and have sex. And Christine is like mortified. I'm sorry. I mean, I kind of wanted to know that. We're tired of hearing, we already know all these guys they're all separated from Cody and Robin. They hardly speak to them. The code dog, the Rob dog are moving on, maybe auditioning new sister wives. So let's get into other aspects of their lives. But Mykelti and Tony are getting it this morning. People do not like them. They feel like Tony is disrespectful to his mother-in-law, Christine Brown. And then, of course, people are saying that Mykelti is wearing a fake baby bump in the confessionals where she is talking about, she wants to keep the family together. Okay, so this is part of the hate, and then there's hate towards Mary, but I'll get to that. So in the confessionals, you can already tell that Tony has lost weight. And Mykelti and Tony collectively have lost well over 100 pounds on Plexus tea, the pink tea that Janelle and Christine sell. I can't even believe they still have a business because everybody's on the Ozempic, but I guess the tea works too. Okay. Y'all know how I feel about diets. So diets don't work. That absolutely, like, can people stay on Ozempic for the rest of their lives? I guess we're going to see. I highly doubt it. I believe a woman just died from using Ozempic over the weekend, but that's another show. So, people would go, well, they're obviously much skinnier. She had to be wearing a fake baby bump. I'm sure she was. And a lot of people online are defending this part of it, going, yeah, a lot of TV shows do that for consistency. HGTV is one of them. They have shows where they kind of like, they'll go back and interview different people, especially if they're pregnant. They'll use a fake baby bump to try to stay consistent with it. Now, do I know for a fact that she has a fake baby bump in those confessional scenes that Mykelti does? No, I don't. I do agree with you guys. I think she probably does because Tony does look drastically physically different. That's all I'll say. So people are kind of like, why are the producers doing this? To me, I actually didn't think that part was a big deal because they're probably catching people, getting their thoughts on different scenes at different times. Now, I understand everybody's frustration because it's like, just show them where they are at, when they did these confessionals. But to be honest, they probably did those confessionals like 5 months ago. So like way after the twins were born, like way after the show was edited. So I see it both sides. Then the other thing where people feel like TLC production has done Mykelti and Tony wrong and maybe sort of setting Mykelti and Tony up to be like, could we be seeing a lot of the audience's hate directed to Tony and Mykelti to kind of make Cody and Robin look better? Maybe. They do that with Housewives, right? Every season, it's usually like one woman gets it all, right? And then the next season, she's redeemed and they're on to somebody else. So people are like, okay, TLC puts that scene out where Mykelti and Tony are sitting down and saying, keeping the family together is so important to them. That's why they're going to stay close with Cody and Robin and Cody and Robin's children. And they want the families to come together. But oh, by the way, Mary was not invited to the Zoom. Mary appears to be, now some of this, not all the siblings were on. Leon wasn't on either. Was Leon not invited? Or we also know Leon doesn't want to participate in the show. So that's probably more the reason. But Mary wasn't invited. And then they cut to Christine and Christine goes, well, I can't force my adult children to have relationships with everybody in the family. They have to pick and choose. People are giving Mykelti shit for that. Like, Mykelti and Tony, really? You guys preach that you want the family together, but you're not reaching out to Mary. Look, this is where I get annoyed because we do know from interviews that Peyton Brown has done and other Brown family members have done that, Mary was allegedly physically abusive to some of these kids when they were little. And I do believe there was some rumor about Mary being physically abusive to Mykelti at points. I can't remember if Mykelti was the one that got it the worst. I actually think it was. I thought Peyton Brown had said that on an interview. But you guys can correct me because sometimes all the details, you keep them straight better than I do. But again, I just think people are mad that Mykelti and Tony have a relationship with Cody and Robin. That's the bottom line, right? I don't think it has anything to do with Mary. I don't think people really care if the kids talk to Mary or not. I don't think they do. Sorry. And my question, I was just wondering, watching last night and then seeing people like message me in my Instagram. I'm curious. I have a question for you guys. What would it take for you all to like Cody and Robin? Like, is there anything Cody and Robin could do that would redeem them and make them, I guess, less hated on the show? I'm just curious. All right. Then we move on to the scene where, I actually thought the Zoom went pretty well overall. It was good to finally see them all on camera. I didn't think Christine was on it, but then she popped in at the end. So, okay. Then we go to the dinner that they're having. And again, Tony and Christine, to me, I called this a long time ago. I told y'all they did not get along. Christine does not seem like she really likes Tony, but she is, I think, plays it great as a mature parent of keeping everything cordial. And Tony wants to know about her dating life. And again, we don't really get into it, except we do hear for the first time that she's going on dates and nothing serious is happening. Okay, Christine. Like, and what number was the date when we met David Woolley? That's what we want to know. Then Christine goes, Janelle and I are going to take a road trip. We're going to go drive ATVs and we're going to, head out in the car. We're going to go see some of my brothers, my relatives, and we're going to have like a girls' weekend. It's a Thelma and Louise moment, except we're not going out over the cliff and we haven't shot Cody. I mean, that's where we're at. And in the car, I thought that was good. I liked the convo between Christine and Janelle. I thought we were getting somewhere, like more details about where Janelle is at towards her feelings toward Cody. Christine is asking Janelle if Robin feels like her marriage is invalidated because Christine didn't want to go ask the church permission to leave Cody. Okay. So what she's essentially implying, what Christine and Janelle are talking about is that, is Robin pissed off because Christine is not abiding by their church rules, even though they haven't all gone to church in years. And in their religion with polygamy, being spiritually married, we find out last night, is more important than actually being physically married. Because without the spiritual aspect, without really valuing that, what do you have? Because, of course, in the United States, you can only be married to one person. So polygamy marriage isn't recognized. Christine just totally walked away at any moment. She ghosted the old codemeister. And she was like, deuces. But, they feel like maybe Robin, there's an even bigger wedge because Robin feels like, Robin might be feeling like she's getting the short end of the stick because supposedly in their religious and polygamy views, the person that's actually married is sort of the least valued. Maybe that's a reason Robin acts the way she does to some degree. I don't know. And so they're getting ready to have the SUV weekend. But then we have to talk about the sports car, the Lexus sports car that kicked off. I mean, that was kind of the end of an era, seeing Cody try to fit that Lexus car into a trailer that he clearly didn't measure. I mean, okay, of all the things, like, you guys don't reveal a lot of personal information from the past, but Cody allowed that giant mistake to make him look like a doofus on camera. Like, if I were on that show, that's the thing I would throw the flag in. I'd be like, no, I demand an edit. Bravo, bravo, bravo. I mean, what? Okay, let me thank two sponsors. Guys, without you frequenting my sponsors, I wouldn't have a show, and I try to give you multiple podcast episodes every single week to provide free content for you. So purchase from one of my sponsors. It would mean everything to me. OneSkin is the most and must-have skincare this fall. Say goodbye to all these cold weather blues, your skin that is drying out. OneSkin is known for hydrating and healthy glowing skin because it actually gets to the bottom of your cells. A lot of skincare products just treat the cause. They just treat the surface. But OneSkin, their scientists have gone in-house with cutting edge technology to come up with peptides, analyzing skin and making sure that OneSkin actually helps stop the aging process. In fact, 87% of users saw wrinkles diminish when using OneSkin. Try it for yourself. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. OneSkin addresses skin health at the molecular level, targeting the root cause of aging so skin feels and appears younger. It's time to get started with your new face, eye, and body routine at a discounted rate. Get 15% off when you use code TSFS. I've been using OneSkin. I have multiple products. Shout out to them, including their topical eye cream. I also have their cleanser. Go to oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code TSFS. Oneskin.co with code TSFS. We only have one body, one skin, and only one you can choose to make it better. Age healthy with OneSkin. And then Lumi. I'm obsessed with Lumi. Lumi is the deodorant that you can put on your coochie, your boochie, your underarms, and your tushy. Everywhere you've got something that smells, that's where Lumi comes in. When I saw their commercials on TikTok, I was like, I have to partner with this company. I've got their deodorant. It's great. It's no aluminum. They don't use baking soda, no toxic chemicals in there because we're always worried about aluminum in your deodorant. Well, you don't have to even think about it with Lumi because they don't put it in. I've got a special offer just for you guys. For my listeners, new customers are getting $5 off Lumi's starter pack, which includes the deodorant, wipes, and more when you use code TSFS. And for a limited time, returning customers can get $5 off their next purchase of $30 or more too. Use code TSFS at Lumi Deodorant. That's .com, lumideodorant.com. That's LUMEDODORANT.com. Thank you, Lumi, for making the holiday season smell a whole lot better. It really works too. 72 hours I've been using it. And let me tell you, I have ripe body odor. No longer with Lumi. I use the code TSFS. The other greatest scene last night, season 18, episode 13, the elephant in the room. More like the car that doesn't fit in the trailer is the better analogy here. Cody and his friend Brian, and shout out to Brian and those flare jeans. Did anyone else notice that? Where are these men? These polygamy men or something else. Shout out to them flare jeans, Brian. Brian is going to buy Cody's white sports car. Now, guys, do you guys think this is a metaphor for the show going away? I don't know. I was a little worried when he sold the white Lexus sports car that kicked us off in season 1. It's the car he fell in love with Robin in. We also hear from Robin in her confessional last night that she got a message from God in that little Lexus, in that 2-seater with a back seat where Cody was so excited about the back seat where you can fit one paper bag. I mean, they've had messages from God. Cody and Robin have a picture in one of their bedrooms of Cody and Robin leaning against the sports car. Why do you guys feel like Cody felt like it was time to get rid of a 20-year-old car that kind of was like the most, I don't know. I almost feel like it's like Darth Vader's sword in Star Wars. Like it's synonymous with the show. Well, and maybe he's not really getting rid of it because we know it didn't fit into Brian's car. Because somehow these two geniuses measured the width. They didn't measure the length of the Lex. I would have had that scene edited out faster than you can say, Sister Wives. All right. That would have been gone. I thought that was the most embarrassing scene. And then we finalized the show with Janelle sitting down with Christine Brown's brothers. Okay. Which again, Christine, like they're all into polygamy. They all have been. Christine's dad took 2 wives. And did anybody else find it weird? I love Christine. Hats off to her by far, like the most mature adult on that show, right? But did anybody else find it weird that these 2 brothers, they're like half brothers and half brothers to her, because the dad was a polygamist, like they were like talking about the complete dysfunction of the family and how people didn't speak in the household. It was so fucked up. Like the one brother's like, polygamy is awful, does way more harm than good. And you could tell Janelle is super uncomfortable. Like we all have to face the fact that Janelle loves polygamy. She loves it. She loves the idea. Come on in, sweetie. Come on in. We're just talking sister wives and polygamy. I want to see you with multiple wives. I would love to see it. Anyway, Did anyone else find it weird that Christine grew up in that same house and didn't notice anything wrong? She thought it was fabulous and wanted to be a polygamist at 17. I guess everybody has their own experience in a household. So, Janelle says that she's not interested in dating anybody. And she confesses at that table that the biggest reason, aside from waiting for a sign from God, which she tells Christine she's looking for on their road trip, is financially she's screwed. Christine got out because Christine had Cody and the girls help her buy a house. She took that money from the house that she sold, built a house in Utah. Janelle went all in on Coyote Pass. She owns at least 1, if not 2 shares, and she can't get her money out. She's worried that, she has no money. She has no assets to leave him. And then they talk about polygamy women be able to protect themselves and multiple women get married to one guy. Never going to happen. Never going to happen in the US. Sorry. Like, no, there could be so many tax benefits to that for like multiple family members. They're never going to allow it. And so Christine goes, well, you know what she's hinting at? That's why she can't leave. She hasn't figured out her financial situation yet. So we know that Janelle ends up leaving Cody. So it will be interesting to see if and when we get a resolution of how the sale of Coyote Pass is. Now, they always are crying poverty, like they can't pay off Coyote Pass. Ain't nobody paid Coyote Pass off. Ain't nobody paid the tax bill on Coyote Pass. I think they got plenty of coins. I'm just saying. I don't know what the strategy is and tactic is. I would love to know the truth. So what are fans saying overall? A lot of people are saying, stop putting Aurora and Brianna on the confessionals. They look sad. They look unhappy and uncomfortable. Why are you doing this to them? What's the reason behind Cody and Robin wanting them to be in the confessionals? I think it's to defend their parents. That's why. I think also it levels out the show. There aren't a lot of fans of Cody and Robin, and I think they need people to represent. People are dying for that scene where next week Mary is going to officially leave Cody, and Robin is like, I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives. I can't wait. The other thing that people did bring up, and I also was annoyed, people are annoyed about Janelle with this, is Janelle, there's kind of a debate last night too about, did Janelle pursue Cody for polygamy marriage, or did Cody pursue Janelle? And Cody is flip-flop with this story. Earlier this season, he said that Janelle had pursued him. Last night, he said he flirted and pursued Janelle. And Janelle makes reference that she knew about Cody through Mary, but she doesn't go into detail, which people are annoyed about, because we know that Janelle was married to Adam, Mary's brother. Now, Adam just recently passed away from cancer. No mention of it. Janelle didn't mention him on social media, didn't mention him on the show. And a lot of people are like, well, give us context. Did you flirt with Cody while you were with Adam? Were you separated? Why aren't you talking about him? But then I did have a fan message me and say, probably the reason that maybe one of the reasons that Janelle doesn't bring up Adam is because maybe Adam and his family asked not to be mentioned on the show. It would be nice to know that. I will say that drives me crazy about this show. We get a lot of filler scenes and flashback scenes. Why don't we answer some of these questions? So I appreciate Tony for that. People are saying Janelle needs to write a tell-all book. That's how she'd make all her money. She could afford any house she wanted if she did. Oh, wouldn't that be so good? Wouldn't that be so good? Write that tell-all. But a lot of people are saying she won't do it because she doesn't want to upset her kids. Oh, Janelle, please write a tell-all, girl. And lastly, are you guys noticing the thumbnail of Sister Wives? Is it getting darker like it did in the Harry Potter films? Okay. This season, for season 18, I'm talking about the thumbnail. It's the image that appears when you go to Max or when you go to TLC on your Hulu and you try to view the show. And it's, it's the family shattered. And it's it's interesting, right? The shatter is very tiny between Janelle and Christine. Cody and Robin are in their own little shattered box, right? Because they're united. Mary, it's like Mary got 100 shatters through her. I don't know what in the hell we're trying to say there. But are the shatters getting deeper or is it getting darker? Is it changing or is it just me? Love to know your thoughts. All right, you guys. TLC Talk drops on Wednesday. Be sure to listen to my interview with Christy Carlson Romano, the child actor, Disney star. And now she has a podcast network, Podco, with her Vulnerable podcast and more today as well on TSFS. Bye, everybody.